I will be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panels, you need to remember the reason why humans have to eat meat in the very first place dates back right from the beginning, in which the existence of human already exists in the very first place, right? I mean, we didn't eat meat because it was delicious. We eat meat because we actually need it in the very first place, in which that it already dates back in the prehistoric era, for example, right? That is why we don't believe that the impulse to actually eat meat comes from luxury. In fact, we actually need it. We actually need meat to actually survive and therefore develop as a full human being with full nutrition, right? Therefore, banning this, it actually hampers the growth of the growth of human nature in general, right? We need to also remember that people have the right to eat what they want, ladies and gentlemen. We can actually pull the right to eat something just because for something it is immoral and etc. Because at the end of the day, people can choose what they want to eat, right? They have the sort of like the privilege to actually choose what they want to eat. Now, moving on, before I'm going to move on to my substantive, I would like to touch on several arguments that is made by the Prime Minister, in which their mechanism, they're going to give companies time to actually change, to actually alter to plant-based alternatives, and they also mention they would like to subsidize these companies in which they, in the process of transferring or changing to plant-based. We have two responses to this. Firstly, it is unfeasible, ladies and gentlemen. It is very, very unfeasible because meat is already prevalent, ladies and gentlemen. Because even though you still give companies time to change and you want to subsidize, meat is prevalent, in which there is almost everywhere, and almost nearly companies utilize some sort of meat, right? You utilize some sort of meat or meat substitute. Therefore, it is going to be very, very hard to ban because it is prevalent, and it's going to be very, very difficult for the government to actually fully ban. Also, mentioning their second mechanism is that they want to subsidize, right? Subsidize these companies. I mean, imagine how many companies that the government has to subsidize because it is going to be very, very costly. Therefore, it's going to be very, very harmful for the government's budget, right? Also, in their second mechanism, their third mechanism is that they want to give, after the time span, they want to try, find to meat eaters and try to convert them or change them to be a full plant-based diet. We say two things to this, right? It is impossible, ladies and gentlemen, right? Actually tracking down every individual who are actually still eating meat, persisting in eating meat, is actually impossible. It's going to make people, be scared, be scared to eat meat. Also, they want to, even though you make this mechanism available, people are eventually still going to eat meat anyways, ladies and gentlemen. Because as we can see, even though a country already bans drugs, I mean, the citizen is already going to, to consume these drugs. I mean, the same thing with meat. In fact, it is going to be very, very chaotic with meat, with the meat's case, because it's going to be, meats are already an integral part of someone's diet. Therefore, it is going to be very, very difficult to actually control the consumption of meat. The consumption of meat in the very first place. Moving on to the first argument, in which that they say eating meat is immoral, right? Eating meat is moral. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just because a plant cannot scream, just because a plant cannot shout and scream, and emit a sound of pain that we already recognize, a sign of pain that we're already familiar with, doesn't mean they can actually, they didn't actually feel the pain. We still have a long way to go in the development of science. In that development, we still have yet to find out whether plants can definitively feel pain or not. And what if they can? What if they actually can, right? We're still going to be, harming another form of life being, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we're still going to, fulfill our needs to our nutrition at the cost of another life being. Just in this case, it's not animals, it's just a plant. In fact, in the government side, we're going to be much more intensively consuming plants. Therefore, if we do find out that plants, actually do feel pain because they're at the end of the day still a living being, it's going to still be immoral in the very first place. Okay, moving on to their argument, in which that they say overconsumption of meat is going to persist. Therefore, and if we allow it, and the overconsumption of meat is still, it's going to happen at the end of the day without regulating it, right? Now we say to this, the problem lies on how we treat the food, right? How we cook the meat and how we cook the plant-based things, right? We can see that it doesn't only happen on meat stuff. We can see that, for example, like potato chips, right? Potato chips, French fries, which both are derived from plants, right? And people are still overeating this, right? So the problem is not on the item, it's how we cook it, right? Even if it's meat, if you cook it badly, nobody is going to want to eat that, right? So the problem lies on how you cook and develop the food instead of the item itself. Therefore, it is still not justified to actually ban meat, right? Also, in their fourth argument, they say that they justify violating people's rights and religions and cultures because, you can substitute that, for example, right? You have still other ways to show your gratitude to God. This is very impossible, for example, right? We can see that the world is mostly consists of Muslims, right? We Muslims have this culture of kurban, for example, right? Cutting a cow and then sending the meat to people around us, right? Now, in this case, how do you expect us to actually substitute this, ladies and gentlemen? It is impossible because it is up to the Quran, for example, right? It is up to their own religion. Therefore, the way that the government is willing to dictate how these people, conduct their religion is very, very immoral on their side of the house. Moving on to my arguments, in which that on their side, on the government side, is the environmental damage is going to be very, very big, in which that many plant-based alternatives in the status quo currently is already very, very harmful, and they are very, very heavily chemically treated and very, very intensive. For example, like soy and almonds, right? And also, not to mention the entire GMO on vegetables like corn, spinach. This is going to be very, very harmless. And in fact, the intensity of the unorganic items, such as produce like that, is going to be much more intensive because they expect the entire world to rely on these things, right? To rely on plant-based foods, and most of them are already heavily chemically treated and actually possess the dangers on human. Secondly, they mentioned that agricultural waste they say that it is going to be harmful because cattle are taking space a lot. Right? We don't believe so because it is going to be making use of agricultural waste in the very purpose. Therefore, we are so proud to oppose. Thank you.